Okay, this is Ardek from Carach Angren. You're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
Hey, you are listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast. I am Bruce, also known as Soda Can Bruce, also known as Jason Momoa and the hostess with the mostest. And if you need to know any of those references, please go back and check Rena from Silentium's podcast. You won't regret it. And who do we have with us here, Chris?
Oh, I'm Chris, and I'm an all-around nice guy, I guess.
I guess.
Okay, today we have Carach Angren.
Yeah.
Or is it Carach Angren?
I think it's Carach, but I'm just looking at their webpage here. Number one official Finnish album on the charts.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I've been a fan of these guys, seen them on the boat a few times, and I always dig them. Very theatrical, very... Well, yeah, let's go ahead. We're speaking with Ardek.
Hey, how are you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
Doing all right. Are you still up in the Netherlands there?
Yeah, I'm in the Netherlands, yeah. So
we're talking to people from all over the world today. What's it like up there with all this nonsense?
Well, here it's calming down a bit since a month, so it's here it's actually good. So things are, but of course the music industry is still
horrible.
Yeah, but what can you do?
But you guys, what was it like releasing that brand new album, like right in the middle of this? I mean, much different than all the other stuff you've done in your career, right?
Well, yes and no. I mean, we had to postpone it 1 month due to the physical products being late. But we already had started promotion in January, and basically Saragor and I said, like, okay, let's just continue with this because we're excited about it. And some bands were postponing it like a year or indefinitely, and we didn't feel like that at all. So in a way, I mean, it has been actually pretty good because results are really amazing, and we've done a lot of interviews like this, and the response has been really cool. So I'm happy we could do it despite everything else.
Yeah, I mean, on a side note, the record is fantastic. I'm totally digging it. And the videos are really, I think you've upped the production game as well. Really good stuff.
Cool, thanks. That's great to hear, yeah.
And I'm a big fan. I've seen you guys, on the boat a few times on the 70,000 tons, but also on, yes. I've seen you down here in Richmond too on the Wolfheart tour.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And actually, Sig Gregor is in a movie of mine. I'm a filmmaker as well on heavy metal and depression and mental health, and he's got a whole big thing in it. We filmed down here when he was here.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So longtime fan. It's nice to talk to you anyway.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Are you guys doing? Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just want to know, what was it like being on 70,000 Tons of Metal as an artist?
It's great. I mean, we've been there in 2016 and of course this year. And for me, it was really great to see how they have upped their game and how it improved. I mean, it was really cool last time, but now it was like a well-oiled machine. Everything, it's crazy how they build it up and how everything is done. And it's special because, like you said, we're all on this ship and you cannot get off, and that gives it a kind of, end of time.
Yeah.
And it never ends, right? I mean, it's continuous party and music, and I really like that, and also the fact that you can do whatever you want. It's like a mini holiday, and so I really like it, and the fact that you can perform there is just crazy. It's like it's a dream.
Did you play the pool deck stage? I didn't get to go this year.
Not this year. Last time we did it, and that was really cool. This year we did the theater venue and another one.
I think both times I've seen you in the Pyramid Lounge, the smaller one.
That was the first time, yeah. Now it was another, yeah. But we actually, this year was really cool. We were the last band playing in the theater, so we were like closing it off, and it was crazy because people were sitting on the floor and doing this, these rowing movements.
Nice.
Yeah. And I mean, where did you see that shit, right? I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. What was your bar bill like?
I'm really. You have no idea. I'm like the conservative. I have like 0 because I don't drink.
Oh,
Oh,
good for you.
I'm like I'm the healthy, the sober one. Yeah.
I can't say that about any time I've been on that boat ever.
No, no. I think even the captain was drunk. Maybe I was the only one not.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the amount of booze that goes down on that ship is unbelievable.
Yeah, makes the ship the sea look bad. Even I think.
Yeah. Bruce?
So I've got one for you. You guys have been doing this for quite a long time. Did you ever imagine you'd still be making music as Carach Angren?
Yeah, like I think we can never really stop it because it's in our soul or how you want to see it, and that's how it started. You just jam around, make this kind of stuff, and I love these horror tales, and that's how it started. It was never an objective to reach this or that, but then when it happens, it's really amazing, and
Yeah.
And I mean, what has happened, 6 albums, and then having been everywhere in the world, that's just unreal.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It's pretty amazing. And I mean, we have always felt this energy, like we want to go out with this and we want to show it to people because we're excited about it. That has always been the drive, but never been like, oh, we want to do this or that specifically. That just comes along and it's just super, super cool. Yeah.
Do you find it difficult coming up, and this may sound odd, but coming up with new, fresh ideas after all this time and not rehashing the old stuff? Is it getting harder to write?
It's a very good question, actually, and it is like that because the way I see it, like when we were recording the first full-length album, you have to understand I was like 23 years old, so we got a record deal. So that is like hallelujah, you're like a kid being happy at that stage, and it's the first time, so everything is amazing, and. So that's like a roller coaster. And then every time now you do it again, you have seen the studio, you know what it's like. So there's a trap to become complacent about it. So what I have made my discipline for myself is to every time find something that excites you. And if I haven't found that, I just have to try harder. And that's why, for example, into this album went months of research and, things like visiting museums for me, reading books. And then suddenly there is something that connects, and then I get excited, and then the melodies come out and all this stuff. So that becomes more difficult, or you have to be more. And sometimes you need time away too because you're touring, so it's only Carach Angren, and you need also some distance. Yeah.
Okay, Chris.
What's the craziest festival story you have?
Whoa.
That's an open question.
Yeah, well, one that comes to my mind right now is that last year we played a festival with full force in Germany, and this is really cool because they have booked us a couple of times, and actually they have more like hardcore metal bands. So we are always the strange guest sort of, and we were playing, I think at 3 a.m. And everyone was completely drunk, and there were people like dressed up, and they were like dancing, and there was this crazy carnival-esque mosh pit. And I remember I was like looking into the audience, like, I thought I looked weird, but no, not today, not tonight. So yeah, it's like usually. And that was really cool. I remember, like, I felt so good at that point. Like, this is really fun. It's a little bit like 70,000 tons of metal, this kind of atmosphere. So, but that was really special because it was basically, and it was like 3 already, and it was still packed, and everyone was completely lunatic. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's what I love about heavy metal. It's like at a festival, the clock just stops. Time doesn't matter. And everyone becomes such a family, and year after year you go to the festival and you see the same people. They become friends, even if distanced. Like that's how I met Bruce. I met Bruce in 2011 on 70,000 Tons of Metal.
The original one, yeah.
The very first one, yeah. And I met so many different people from all over the planet that I still stay in regular contact with.
Yes, it's very special. Yeah, you're completely right. I agree. Yeah.
And I just wonder how this whole coronavirus thing is going to affect that interaction. Like, will it have lasting effects? Will people kind of want to stay distanced after this, or do you think they'll go back to being social again?
Well, the way I see it, like, let's just try to get over this as soon as possible. So I'm more in the camp of, okay, this is a virus. I mean, I'm in a small country, Netherlands, so I can oversee it. And I'm like, there's a virus. Apparently, it's real. So let's just deal with this. I'm like, okay, let's just do this. And then as soon as it's over, we can go back to absolutely everything full blown. So I'm more like, I'll do everything they ask of me now, and we drop this year, and okay, and then hopefully everyone's healthy and this passes away, and then in my mind this doesn't have lasting effects, because that would be crazy, because we do it for this stupid pandemic. So that would be weird to me if people want to stay distant. I hope not. That would be really weird.
I hope not either. But I just wonder, like if that paranoia that people hold on to for a year or more, if it becomes a norm. And I really hope it doesn't. Bruce, stop typing.
Yeah. Damn.
I caught him. He's cheating.
I don't I think there is that always fear that people are not going to want to come back, right? I mean, because it's going to be in the back of their head, and I don't know how that's going to all pan out. Obviously, there's no crystal ball, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Of course, we have to see that, but I just try to be rational and think like, okay, here, for example, here in Holland, we have been lowering all these measures step by step every 2 weeks, and that's really cool. So you can see there is an end coming in sight, and we have to follow that path. But I think the hard way is to not do that path, and then you go back and forth, and we just have to erase this thing, and then it's over. But and then there's no reason for paranoia because it's gone, and then that's it.
I'm with you. I'll be back at any concert as soon as it's safe. I won't even think twice about it.
Yeah. And I really understand all this streaming, and I think it's great for bands, but I don't really feel like it. I'm like, I don't know, it's not real, and it's great if bands do it, but we feel like we just want to wait until we, get back there and do the real.
Yeah, if there's no interaction, it playing live becomes more like a rehearsal instead of a show.
Yeah, it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not what it is.
And even for the performers, I don't think it's fair, because I was watching, I don't know if you saw the Catatonia live stream when they did it a couple months ago. And, they did a really nice job with it. But in the middle, Anders was like, this is not normal. I'm not used to finishing up and nobody's there applauding and there's nobody to interact with. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, the risk is that you can start disliking it. I mean, imagine if you do 10 streams, then you think, fuck this shit.
Right.
So, that's also maybe what I'm subconsciously afraid of. Like, I love making videos and I love making records, because that's where you work behind the scenes and you prepare something. But this is more like, you put the camera on and then that's it. And then there's no one there. And it's kind of sad. Like, I understand people when they do it, and maybe we will do it at some point too. I don't know, but for now, not probably. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a big expense to try and put together. And how do you monetize it in the end?
Exactly. And because it's also crazy to me, like before people could watch this actually as fan, you could watch streams for free when you couldn't attend, and now suddenly it's monetized. I mean, it's all kinds of question marks to it. As a fan, I would also think like, that's kind of weird. But of course you want to support your band. That's really cool.
Well, I mean, the band can't keep going if they don't make money. It's just a fact of life. So
that's a fact. Yeah.
Like I watched like the Monsters of Rock cruise. They're doing these live streams right now, and some are $10, some are free, and it's okay. But the quality, like it constantly skips and buffers, and there's all kinds of issues that happen, and it's not the same. It's not like being in front of a blasting amp or blasting PA system. you know?
Oh no, not even close.
Exactly. And the excitement, the waiting, you know, and your shoes sticking to the floor of all the beer.
Yeah. I mean, you can have a cold beer in your hand, but it's not the same as like paying $7 for one, you know?
No. Yeah, exactly.
Stupid.
Yeah, but you don't want, as a fan too, you can lose interest, and you can maybe, I mean, I remember my first festival was like 15. It was like, what the hell is this? You know, I saw all these bands I liked in one festival. It was like amazing. And then when you look at the screen where you were just typing your mom on WhatsApp or something, then you see your face. It can ruin it. It can ruin it. That's the risk.
Yeah, like you could be in the middle of watching a stream and your mom calls and you're like, oh, I'll just hit pause.
And then you ruin the whole vibe.
Yeah. And then
the idea was I got away from this into metal and it's blending. Nightmare.
Well, so what do you guys have planned next? Are you just going to sit tight and see what happens? Or is there stuff in the works? Or?
Well, like I said, we have been lucky now to be, on top of promotion. We had some really cool things. Like, for example, last week we had a television interview here in Holland. And so that's really cool. And now we are actually working on a video because we can probably start working on it in the next couple of weeks again, because it's possible. And we have a really crazy idea that we didn't want to compromise on. So that's why we kept it, and we will release the video later. But so I'm excited about it, and we have restarted those plans. And so that's what we will do for the coming weeks. Yeah, months.
Nice. So you'll keep the wheels rolling.
Yeah, definitely. And then, we have great management and agencies. They are already trying to plan some tours or trying to make plans for, hopefully next year and even later to, just fire up this campaign so that everything is ready. So that's good. You can work and prepare things. Yeah.
If everything goes back to normal next year, I was thinking about this as you were talking, because a lot of people are scared that music venues are not going to be able to come back from this, right? Like, they're going to bleed money like crazy. But if everything goes back to normal next year, there is going to be so many bands on the road. Like, it's going to be crazy. Like, all the shows that were postponed this year are now going to happen next year, plus the shows that were going to happen next year anyways.
Right.
Yes.
Like, there's going to be twice the amount of bands on tour.
Yeah. And there's demand because everyone wants to go to everything.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But not as much money. I won't have the money to do all that.
No. Maybe we have to see what will happen. Yeah, maybe that's going to be interesting. But that's going to be also a little bit of a problem. We will have a kind of bottleneck effect.
Yeah.
And also everyone's releasing albums now, even if they didn't plan to. They just write another one.
Right.
It's interesting.
Or they're at least getting them done and ready for release. So you'll have a lot of new content.
Yeah, that's true. So we'll see.
A lot of people like that as well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we have to see. We cannot really predict, but we are ready. So with this
That's
album.
great.
Awesome. Yeah, the record seems to be charting well for you too.
Yeah.
It was number one in Finland. It was like, what the fuck is it? What? You saw Lady Gaga and Carach Angren. Okay,
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's really, and it's the first time that happened. And we are in Germany in the top charts, and I think there were some US charts as well coming in. So we are looking closely at it. So it's really cool.
That's awesome.
It's so nice to be appreciated for your work, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And because also, we took some risks with this album and we put everything into it and worked extra hard on it. I mean, you always work hard, but this one, and both Dennis and Sarah, we had like special feeling like this is something special. And then when it gets recognized, that's really cool, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I wish Bruce would recognize my talent sometimes.
Jesus.
Do it.
I don't have anything else, Chris. You?
I don't, man. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was really amazing to talk to you.
Yes, especially after being a fan for so long. And I'm glad your record's doing well, and that's pretty amazing under Lady Gaga, or right by Lady Gaga there.
Above Lady Gaga.
Above Lady Gaga. Let me correct myself. That's pretty amazing. Not many people can say that.
let's go into our Lady Gaga. Come, let's do it.
Yeah. But hopefully we'll get to see you somewhere again down the road. Take care of yourself and stay safe, man. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys, and
stay safe.
have a great night.
We'll take
you too.
Take care. All right, bye.
Take care. Bye.